Mental Health Monday with Mick Coyle.
On Radio City Talk.
We've got Jake Mills back in the studio from Chasing the Stigma. Jake, great to see you.
How are you?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has. You've grown a bit of a bit of growth there, more than usual, I would say.
Are you looking at my back? Yeah, I've just not had a shave.
I like it. It's...
You know what it is? My 4-year-old dislocated her elbow on Friday. And it was fine. It just popped back in. Don't worry.
Oh,
but you do
that sounds even worse.
Yeah, but you do the A&E thing, and then the next day she still says it hurts, but it doesn't hurt. But she's saying it hurts, and then nothing really happens.
Maybe it hurts.
And then it didn't know. It turns out the doctor's doing this thing. He's lifting up her arm, and she's screaming and screaming. He goes, "Yeah, it's psychological." But he was like Hungarian or something like that. It was like, so in his accent, he was like a burly bloke. He was just like quite dismissive of it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, right, okay. He says you're fine. So having a shave just passed me by, basically.
Yeah, I like it.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a good look.
Jake Mills is with us from Chasing the Stigma. Jake, a lot's happened since we last spoke. We had World Mental Health Day, which was trending right across the world, appropriately as well. And we've had many conversations this week on Mental Health Monday. Football fans coming together on this particular issue, and the Talk Tonight event, which is coming to the O2 Academy on the 2nd of November, off the back of 2 deaths of Liverpool fans who, they're not celebrities, Liverpool fans, but people know these names. They are names that people have known. Tragic deaths and tragic circumstances, and fans thinking, right, what can we do? And great to have the guys who are organising the event saying, well, you know what? We know some bands, we know some venues, we can get a gig together, we can do something, and a real sense from them that actually just doing something, creating a space, creating an environment would be a positive way of dealing with the situation and creating the environment where people might have a conversation about mental health. If they don't want to have that conversation about mental health, give them a good time where you can go and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting and good way of doing it. I think, you and I are working around kind of mental health on a daily basis, weekly basis. We understand it. We understand the issues that come with that. But for a lot of people, it's only when it really hits home, when it's close to home, and it affects somebody who you do know, whether that is personally or whether it's through Twitter or whether it's through articles or different things that they do. And it's when it really does hit home, and that hurt that can kind of come with that. And to be able to channel that into making a difference, into doing something positive, that's not just going to raise money for really important charities, but to put mental health in the conversation in a totally different environment to what you may expect it. But it's a great example of how you can use the power of music and comedy or anything else to have that conversation, to raise awareness. They're not bringing people together in one room to say, okay, let's all talk about our feelings, but they're saying, do you know what, mental health is an issue, suicide is an issue, and we are going to talk about it, we are going to address it. Here's 2 charities, for example, where you can turn to if you need that help, and doing it in a really kind of cool way as well. I think it's fantastic.
I think so as well. And the other thing is that the charity's absolutely, delighted to come on board, because actually, whether it's Paul's Place or James's Place will benefit from Talk Tonight. If they say, here's a room with 750 people in it, all who are within that targeted area of people who are most likely to take their own life, for them to find those individuals and speak to them individually would take too much resource and would take too much time. It wouldn't be possible. But actually to create that environment, even if it's for someone to say something for 2 or 3 minutes on a stage in front of that, that's a connection that they can make, which otherwise they would struggle to make. Exactly,
and that's what we need more of, is pointing people to. And I heard in the interview yesterday, it was saying about how even the team who putting it together, they had to go out and look for the support that's available, and it's putting it out there for everybody to see exactly who these are. And the 2 really important organisations that they are kind of raising money for as well, because you do have both sides of the coin, and it's really important to be talking about that bereavement side of it as well, because a lot of people, we know that you're at a much higher risk of suicide yourself if you have been bereaved by it. And it's, obviously Paul's place as well as pioneering in what they are doing. So it's really important to get that message out.
Well, Chris, who's one of the organisers, I genuinely got a sense he got the fright of his life when he realised that stat, those who lose somebody to suicide are more likely to take their own life. But also, he worked within the construction industry, and the stats for the construction industry don't make great reading. So it being something he was unaware of to being something which was affecting him directly, and then something which actually might also be a threat to him, you almost got a sense of, we can't do nothing in this scenario. I've suddenly found myself as potentially some, within that category of people who might take their own life, which I think was why he was so keen to sort of press on with the night.
No, and it's his passion that's going to drive it forward and make a real difference. It is sad that you have to, well, in many cases you have to be affected by it, whether it's kind of directly or indirectly, for you to actually realise the power and the impact of that. But they are doing a really, really good thing. I
mean, one of the things with that, and there's been unfortunately a series of football fans who have taken their own life, and images you see on social media, and it strikes me with any one of those images, you don't look at the group of 12 lads who are on an away day and go, well, that's obviously the one who was going to take his own life. It's, there's one of them who's no longer with us. But actually, you look at each and every one of them and you think, well, there was no sign there. There's no clue there. The week before the show we've just done, you were involved at the City of Liverpool with their, they had a day of it alongside State of Mind Sport and yourselves through Chasing the Stigma, a match day with essentially a mental health walk-in included. Because I think, again, fans are starting to realise, people who work at football clubs, who might also be clinical psychologists or work within the profession, are starting to realise that these things are touching really close to home. And actually, well, what are we going to do about it? If you run a football club, then actually maybe the football club can do something about it. Just give us a sense of what you experienced down at the City Liverpool game. Yeah,
it's this idea of that myth that people don't want to talk. It's just knowing people do want to talk, just don't know where or how exactly. And by having that awareness raising day at the City Liverpool game, when all the players wore t-shirts to say it's okay to not be okay, to release balloons like we did, and to fundraise and to give information out, but importantly to have that room as well, and that space, that safe space that was available. You've basically got an opportunity to really help normalise that conversation. And a lot's happened since we did last see each other, Mick, and in that time, which we haven't even had the chance to talk about, is through Chasing the Stigma, Everton Football Club signed up to do our mental health training, our accredited training, Ambassadors of Hope. And what they did is they've actually committed to having all members of staff trained in that training, which is a baseline level of understanding about mental health, how to signpost and what to do in crisis management. But the kind of comments that came from that training and from Denise Barrett-Baxendale, the chief executive of Everton, was exactly that. We have a responsibility as a football club with these supporters that we have coming here every week who feel part of a family. We have a responsibility to look after them. So there's a lot happening in the sport, and I think it's about time that it did happen.
I think there's something in that. Whether it's an organisation or just a group of people, call it Fans Against Suicide. You can have that name if you want, whoever wants to use it. Where you could actually create those space. If it's for designated weekends, State of Mind do it very well within rugby league. But State of Mind, as we heard as part of the conversation, go right across different sports now. I was going to ask you about your Everton stuff, but you've.
You can ask again. I'll just plug it again.
Well, I was actually on your social media at Jake Mills 1. Jake Mills is with us, by the way, from Chasing the Stigma. 5 years ago tomorrow, I didn't think I could go on, or that life was worth it. Today, I'm featured in the Everton programme after training staff and players in the training I wrote. The point is, no matter who you are or what you're going through, it doesn't have to be forever. Now, I've got a 4-year-old, so 5 years isn't a very long time. But what you've done in the last 5 years has been pretty incredible. I'm saying nice things about you now. Does it feel like 5 years?
It doesn't, in the way that it feels actually a lifetime ago, and it actually feels like a different life ago, actually. So it was 5 years ago yesterday when I tried to take my own life, and the point I was kind of making in that tweet was that I did never think that I would have an alternative. I just didn't. It was impossible to imagine an alternative to the way that I was feeling. And yet, 5 years later, I'm now running a national mental health charity, written training and training, the Everton first team captain and manager and chief executive. And it's not so much saying it about me and what I've done, but it's about saying this is probably what I'm doing now. Not only was it an alternative to the way that I felt, but it's above and beyond anything that I could have imagined that I would be able to do and achieve anyway. And it's just kind of what I wanted to put out by that tweet was to try and make that point that nothing ever lasts forever, no matter how bad it seems, no matter who you are, no matter what you're going through. There is always an alternative. There's always an alternative, and you owe it to yourself and to everybody else to give yourself that chance to get through to reach that alternative.
You're also hosting the Mental Health Awards.
Yeah.
Now, was that at Goodison Park, though, Jake?
No, that's at Anfield.
Oh, right, Anfield.
Yeah. So it's national.
You have to douse yourself in holy water before you step through there. Does your Everton season ticket sort of just like melt in your pocket while you're going?
Well, no, because so it's National Positive Practice and Mental Health Awards hosted at Anfield. But I obviously wasn't going to go into Anfield and, just stand there and take it all in.
Oh, you should have gone in the trophy room, Jake. Honestly, you can't move for trophies in there.
So I made sure that I was prepared and walked on stage in the second half in my Everton top over my suit, and then I realised that like halfway through I was like, actually I've got to get pictures with all the winners here. So I did take it off because they'd have to put that picture on the wall in the office.
I like the way that it wasn't just like the Danker shirts, or it wasn't like the 2005. When did Everton last get to an FA Cup final? Louis Saha number. It was like Ian Snowden 1988 NEC.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be read into it. I'd ask you not to.
The hashtag MHAwards18. You can see pictures of that as well. Positive Practice and various winners as well. The winners, people might recognise some of the winners from either appearing on the programme or doing stuff that we've talked about as well before. Yeah, no, it was a brilliant, really, really brilliant night. It was hosted by Mexico this year, so they travel the country. Tony and Angie run Positive Practice and Mental Health. And I say it's national awards where they're bringing together people who are doing amazing work in mental health, and with a big focus on the third sector as well, to be able to recognise people. And it was, heads and CEOs of NHS trusts up and down the country, Public Health England there, National, the NHS were there. And it was just a really good night of celebrating the amount of good work that does happen in this country. There's a lot of good work, and that's something that we're kind of really passionate about at Chasing Stigmas, changing that narrative a little bit to say, although we know the message out there is about how much needs to change and how much investment needs to happen within the NHS and within mental health services, but also promoting that there is help. There is support. Services do exist. Good services do exist. And it's important to get that message out for people who need the help now. If you want to find out more services close to you, hubofhope.co.uk, or download the app. It'll use your location device on your phone. If you think that's weird, that's fine. You can just type in your postcode and do it that way. If you go on a website now and you're just looking at some random website and it'll go, this website would like to use your location. You think, no, get off. Not ours, though. No. But you could be looking at like a restaurant somewhere down south or something because they look like they've had a nice whatever they put on Instagram. Yeah. And he wants to use your location device, and you think, no. Yeah. So use your location device for the right means at the Hub of Hope. Yeah. Jake, just want to give a quick mention to Lizzie Doyle, who is no longer working here at Radio City Talk. You went to say no longer with us then, didn't you? And then you realised that sounded bad. She's flown to pastures new. She has been a huge credit to herself and to the station as well. She has been the executive producer of the show. She really is just the producer, but I'm going to call her the executive producer because I've said you could put that on the CV and I would give her a good reference for it. Of the programme as well. She was very much at the heart of things when I went, Lizzie, I've got this idea to do a mental health show on the radio. And she was like, right, okay. So when we did the mental health marathon, she was the one who booked in the 73 different guests who made sure that they were all fed and watered throughout the course of it. She's played an absolutely crucial role and a key role in actually getting things up and running in terms of Mental Health Monday, Mental Health Extra. And every time I've gone, Lizzie, I've had an idea. She's really been the one that's been delivering it.
Yeah.
So, Jake, I might have to start turning to you now.
No. Okay, I didn't think that's where that was a curveball. I didn't think that's where that was going.
I'm not saying you're the new producer of the show. you need to be my new Mr. Fix-It, basically.
Okay, I can do that. But no, Lizzie was absolutely is.
We don't need to do past tense, do we?
Well, we've forgotten now, haven't we? She's moved on. We've moved on. But no, she was fantastic in everything with the marathon and weekly shows every time. Anyone was on, it was down to her, and I too added to that stress by saying, "Oh, somebody's messaging me." She's like, "Oh, okay, right, let me get my diary." So she was, she is a fantastic person, and it was a pleasure to work with her.
Thanks for everything, Lizzie. If you want to be part of Mental Health Monday or Mental Health Extra, drop us your messages. Don't send them, Lizzie. She'll just block you now and delete the messages. Send them to me. mick@radiocity.co.uk. It's always the place to send them in the first place. mick@radiocity.co.uk. You can message us on social media as well. We are at Radio City Talk. You want to send us DMs or emails, whatever's best for you. We'd love to hear from you. And if you've got mental health events you want to tell us about, do drop us those messages. Again, the email address never changes. mick@radiocity.co.uk. That wraps up Mental Health Extra for this week. Jake, what are you doing in the next... I'm going to say 24 hours. You've normally got about 15 things done.
Yeah, there is. But what I'm going to use this opportunity to plug the Ambassadors of Hope program again. So it's our accredited 20-minute program, and all information's on our website at chasinthestigma.co.uk.